Wholeness, beautiful beings, welcome to Notes of Nara. My name is Nadja Rashida, and may this message find you well and whole. I hope everyone is enjoying their Monday. I'm recording this on a Sunday afternoon. It's gorgeous out. Yes, summer is leaving us, but there's always, it's always that warmth still from the summer's presence that lingers. So I may go out for a nice long walk today or go out by the river. We'll see. But yes, I feel so much better today. I felt quite heavy the past couple of videos that I made. So yeah, but I feel much more lighter, I'll say. I was a bit down in the dumps a few days ago, but I'm in a much better space. But I wanted to share with you all today's topic, which is presence. And I wanted to focus more on empathy, or the empaths out there. I'm not quite sure, because I know there's been a rise in the discussion of empaths, narcissists and codependence, right? And you have the covert narcissist, overt narcissist, and you have the wounded empath, and then you have the codependency issues with that. But I love in the psycho bubble, on YouTube, which I've started to investigate, is quite fascinating, and it's actually reigniting my passion for reading, because the type of books I like to read dive into, when it comes to nonfiction, psychology, spirituality, personal growth. Those are the type of books I like to read. Like, for example, you have Clarissa Pinkola Estes. She studied, or she was a student of I don't believe she was a student of Carl Jung, but she studied his works, and she based a lot of her literature, her work on her findings, and so it's just quite fascinating, going down the rabbit hole of Carl Jung and his philosophy on human psychology and the human experience, and the archetypes and the ego and the superego. So it's quite fascinating. But yes, I know it's towards the end of September, and we're moving into a whole new season, October, November, December, into the autumn and the beginning of winter. And so, as I've shared before, there's shifts and changes in my life and things I'm preparing for, and projects I'm finally wrapping up for the month, which I'm very excited to share with you eventually, much sooner than later, for sure. But today's topic is about empathy, or no, not empathy, but the empath, and presence. And the question I pose is, what deserves your energy today? My personal growth, that journey, right, that lasts for the rest of our lives, typically. It's ever evolving, ever changing, and I just had a huge, I would say, understanding of my own nature last night, and just very revealing, very everything made sense. And I'll make another video on presence and disconnection. I really want to make a video on that, because it really ties into what I'm saying today. As an empath, extremely empathic person, hypersensitive person, I've come to the conclusion, and it's taken 36 years for me to step into the gift of sensitivity, right? Oftentimes growing up, I was a sin eater. I took on the emotional baggage and the emotional trash of my environment as a child, to the point where by the time I was in my teens and 20s, I had no real sense of self. I thought it was my calling. I thought it was my purpose to embark on a path where I take on the weight of the world so that I don't have to face my own weight, so that I don't have to face my own shadow. I don't have to deal with my own stuff. And it wasn't like I was trying to avoid myself. I thought that there would be more worth, more purpose, and more of living integrally and being more spiritual if I took on the weight of others. That was my relationship, my romantic relationships, my personal relationships with friends, acquaintances, colleagues, professional, all across the board in my life. And finally, this pattern that I have been holding on to is finally broken. I don't need to feed it anymore. I'm free. I choose myself today. And that is one of the hardest things that an empathic person, an empath, has to take on and embody is, I choose myself today. Today I choose myself. Because initially we believe, oh, well, that's selfish. Oh, well, now I feel guilty because this person needs me to show up for them. My partner needs me to show up for them. My mom, my dad, my sister, my brother, my work, my colleagues, they're depending on me. And we put ourselves last every single time. Every single time we make ourselves the energy dump, right? For society on a collective level and on a macro level, micro level. It's very, very toxic, right? And when you recognize this trait within yourself, finally, wow, it's so eye-opening and freeing and not scary. Because sometimes when we're going through transitional parts of ourselves, when we're integrating our shadow self, when you're integrating your shadow self, you become more whole, less fragmented, but there's less fear and more confidence and more knowing and more power, right? Our gifts as empaths and our sensitivities are superpowers. I encourage you all to look into psychology. I think everyone should take, either sign up for a course for Psych 101, at your community college, or go get some books and study it, because it's so fascinating when you begin to truly understand the human psyche in a way where you can recognize your own blocks and your own issues and your own wounds, your own trauma within yourself, your own behaviors and patterns that are toxic, that hold you back. And a lot of the time we victimize ourselves. Oh, look at the world, how they treat me. Look how this person, how they've treated me. Look at my friend, how he betrayed my trust. And look at my lover, how they abandoned. No, you are the common denominator. And the number one thing, that the first step anyone could do and take, is to hold yourself accountable by choosing yourself today, choosing yourself right now. So what does that mean? What deserves your energy today? What deserves your energy today? It's very easy now with the digital age to feed illusion. It's almost like a cube within a cube within a cube within a cube within a cube. And you don't know that you're locked into this internal infinite worlds that just pull you in, right? In one dimension, and then to another dimension, and then to another dimension, and then to another dimension, and then you have no sense of self. Where did your energy go? Ask yourself, who deserves your energy today? Where should your energy go? And why should it go there? That to me is, you're honoring yourself, you're honoring your energy. And there was a clip of a woman, her first name's Busra. And I think she's a Middle Eastern woman, but she dives into, she's part of the self-empowerment trope online. But she said something the other day that obviously I was aware of. But when you feel a truth, when you begin to truly embody a truth, and you begin to feel a truth, it hits different than just hearing it, than just listening to it, than speaking it. You know, it's like when you embody truth, it's completely different experience. And she was saying, if you do not value your time, no one will. If you do not value your energy, no one will. If you do not value your space, your body, your temple, your vessel, no one will. If you do not value what you produce, what you create, what the ideas that you birth, no one will. You have to name your price. Do not allow other people to put a price tag on your time, on your energy, and the quality that you bring. That you lose so much of what is righteously and rightfully yours. It is our birthright to claim this for ourselves. And a lot of the time, when an empath puts up boundaries, meaning self-respect and dignity, right? It's like people, they flip, they lose it, because there's like this silent agreement, this silent contract that you have with others who knowingly, unconsciously, or consciously dump their energies onto you, right? It's like, no, you are my dumping ground. You're my trash can. You're my trash can. Come on, trash can. Collect my crap. Let me dump my shit inside you. I don't want to deal with it. When an empath places their boundaries, when they put boundaries in place, it forces true healing for themselves and for the other. It is not my job to save the world. And I even had years ago, I had maybe not that long ago, it was in 2019, I think. I got an astrological chart reading from this lady in, I think, Southeast Asia. And she was from Southeast Asia. And I booked a reading, and it cost an arm and a leg, for her to tell me what I already know about myself. But I was so doubtful and so fearful. When you're full of fear and doubt, intuition is going to be all messed up. But anyway, and she was saying, like, you are upholding, like, it was like a professional question at my other job, and the job wasn't doing too hot. Things were getting shut down and closing permanently, and I'm like, what is my role? What's my purpose? What's going on? And she's like, you really need to stop doing this. You this is like past life issue where you've made it your job to save others. Like you're in this life, you're trying to make up for it, for those that you couldn't save. And I mean, when I tell you, that's when I started to recognize my own pattern. I just didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know what the next step was to integrate this wounded part of myself. And then when I started doing more inner work and I got in tune with my other medicines and my shadow self just about almost gave me the middle finger. It was almost like, what are you doing here? You've never even claimed stake here. What are you trying to do? Wipe me out? And that's what will happen. Our shadow self will at first be incredibly on the defense. It's like, oh, you're trying to claim these hidden broken parts, these fragmented parts that you've ignored or you've abandoned. And I'm here to protect that. And it's almost like you have to ease yourself into the shadow, and the shadow eases itself into the light, and all becomes whole over time with persistence and practice and awareness. If you are actively choosing yourself today, that's a form of integrating an opportunity to meet broken parts of yourself that wants you, that desires you. Do not fear your shadow. So what deserves your energy today? A lot of the time I was thinking, like, we waste so much of our energy. You can say energy is time, but it's just energy. But we waste so much of it because why? Guilt, fear, and the unknown, trauma, woundedness. These are all shadow self. Every time that you are doing something you have no business doing, and it's taking you further and further away from what's meant for you, what's in alignment for you, you then give you that's the shadow self, the broken fragments that the shadow self protects. It begins to scream. Your fragmented parts of yourself, of your consciousness, screams for attention. But you have to have enough confidence and courage to face your shadow, because our shadow is for us. It is our protector. It is our it protects our sensitivities, the things that uphold or that need boundaries, right? Because I'm going to be honest, I was a woman that had very poor boundaries. Very poor boundaries. Saying yes, afraid to say no. And because I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to go along. I didn't want to be the difficult one, to make it. I didn't want to be an inconvenience. I didn't want my existence to be an inconvenience to other people. Let me say that again. I didn't want my existence to be an inconvenience to other people. That is disgustingly very sad. That's a miserable way to live. And I would always ask myself, how come things wouldn't work out, especially my personal relationships with people, my friends and lovers? Why? Like, what am I doing wrong? What is it? I would consider myself a decent, moral, ethical human being, right? So what is it in me? And it just takes suffering to learn this, unfortunately. Suffering is a great teacher, and it's up to us to choose to learn the lesson. Thus, ergo, the lesson will keep, repeating itself over and over again. But what deserves parts of you, right? That's the type of discernment that the empath has to strengthen. Because a lot of the time, I'm going to use a perfect example. When you fall in love for the first time, the whole world stops. It's like time is just becomes this, you enter in the void of timelessness. That's, I feel like, what love can do. When your heart is awakening, everything slows down and speeds up all at the same time, and you lose your footing. You become ungrounded into what was, your fixed reality. And you enter into all potentiality of what could be. And I, recently went through something like that, where it just, I didn't say I would lose myself. No, I didn't lose myself in it. I became more unified with myself in that experience. But at the same time, when everything stops in that reality, you kind of detach yourself from things that used to bring you joy, because you're going through this heart awakening. You're going through this evolution of your growth, or for your growth from the heart space. And and that can be quite dangerous. It could be quite trippy, because it could be very tricky, because you're thinking, oh, this is such a good thing. You're leading with your heart. But if you still have fragmented parts of yourself, you're going to be in for a surprise. It's not heart openings and awakenings allow you to see what needs to be healed. And through this past current experience that I went through, I will say it really, I think, brought everything full circle for me. Like, just a completion, a completed cycle. And I'm able to say goodbye to an old version of myself that I can't take with me any longer, and where I'm headed. And I can say that with the utmost joy. Has it been easy? Was it easy? No. Is it easy? It's getting better. Will it be easier? Yes. It's an amazing feeling when you are strengthening the discernment between where your energy should go, because you're learning the value of your energy. You're learning the quality and the worth of who you are. I don't need to say, oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry for being myself. I'm so sorry for breathing. I'm so sorry for existing, of being here. I don't want to be a nuisance to you. And I feel that is probably one of my oldest childhood wounds, is feeling like I was a burden to those around me who claimed to love me, and who did. But I feel that very deeply. Like, I felt like I had to minimize myself to make, to not have to, I felt like I had to minimize myself to keep everyone at peace while they would project, and I had to deal with their demons. Because empaths are really good at fighting other people's demons. We're really good at fighting other people's darkness, other people's trauma. We're really good at alchemizing the black gunkety goo, the tar that the spirit can hold within the energy field. Really, really good at it. I mean, if that could be a career to do that, I would do it. Health benefits and all, insurance. Yeah. If someone said, hey, Nara, I would love for you to alchemize, the energy of all these wounded people, their psychological issues, their medical issues, their emotional issues, past life issues, future life issues, karma, and that's all I had to do every single day, great, sign me up. But that's not the case. I have my own pursuits that I want to pour my energy into, that I feel like deserve my attention. I want to see how far I can go with that. And it's not, and what makes this so beautiful is it's a unique experience just for me. I'm not doing it for anyone else. And that's just what I wanted to share with you all today. I hope this video wasn't too long. But yeah, ask yourself what deserves your energy, because it makes you question, like, okay, I have this beautiful gift of energy. What calls to my heart? What's calling me? What am I calling in? Because we numb ourselves. Let's do this for the greater good. Let's do this for my friend. Let me do this for my lover. Let me do this for my family. Let me do this for the community. Let me do this for society. It's like, you lose yourself. You don't know how to do it for you. You don't know how to make a decision for you, or to carve out your own path for yourself without, like, oh, I need validation. No, I'm not worthy of this. I'm not worthy of this relationship. I'm not worthy of this opportunity. I'm not worthy of this amount of money. I'm not worthy of that. Let go of that narrative that you have to excuse, or you have to minimize yourself because you're alive. And if it intimidates the fuck out of people, so what? That's not your problem. That is not your problem, not my problem, not anyone's problem. That's not a you problem. Don't dim your light just to make other people feel better. I've done that. Still to this day, I have to be mindful of it, because people get so intimidated by how bright you shine. And especially when you're in alignment of doing something that you're truly in alignment of, people, they need your help. They want your help. They're jealous of the help. They're jealous of your ability to do what you're able to do. Even people who smile on your face and tell you, I love you. You know? It's something to be mindful of and heartful of, but don't, empaths out there, don't hang up on it. Don't hold on to things that don't hold on to you. And if something is holding on to you, make sure it knows your worth, and make sure it knows your value. Like when I say know it, make sure they show that they know it. Don't, and if they don't, let it go. Don't let it go. Don't plead. Don't beg. Don't over communicate. Don't over explain yourself, as empaths like to do. Other sensitive people like to do. Everybody wants to be understood. Everybody wants to be felt. Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be heard. Even the most introverted, antisocial, hermit mode type of individuals, we all want love, because that's what it boils down to. Love. And are you deserving of it? Yes, you are. What deserves your energy today? The same connection with individuals that just kind of like don't really appreciate you? Same old type of jobs that you show up, you're loyal, you go in sick, cough, high fever. You take on extra work, they don't appreciate you. Family members, they go out of their way to remind you of your shortcomings, but they deny your growth. You are worthy. I am worthy. We are worthy. Free yourself. Free yourself. The most important thing that empaths are meant to accomplish in life is how to heal ourselves. My colleague brought that up the other day. Then, funny enough, a video popped up on my feed that was talking about that, because it got to a point as, an empath, someone who's hypersensitive, I worked service jobs. That's what usually, you find empaths, caretakers, educators. I mean, we are, you look for us, we're there, right? When you begin to value your time and your energy, that's a wrap. And that's a tip of the iceberg of what empaths are capable of. And from my general, because I haven't got any books yet, I am going to get on that with books, because I want to read books now on everything psychology. I'm really pumped. Because I find the human mind fascinating. I don't know what I was going to say with that. I think that's all that I need to share. But I'll be working on my project. The project should be the end result, everything should be ready by next week. Not this upcoming week, but in October, well into October, and I'm really excited. But yes, may this message find you well and whole. Thank you so much. If you stay the entire time, I really appreciate it. Yes, thank you. One more video, I believe, until next month. Goodbye.